Welcome to today's practice session here in Austin, Texas, as the teams prepare their cars for the first time for this weekend's US Grand Prix. It's really good to be back in America at a circuit that's quickly becoming very popular with both the fans and the drivers. Not only is it an interesting track to drive on, but it also provides a number of really good overtaking opportunities.
The straight just before turn 12 is a great place to overtake. It's within the first DRS zone, so the cars can easily close the 1 second gap and get in front before the corner. And if you aren't quite close enough for the move, have a go anyway and see if you can force the other driver into a possible mistake.
Watching some of the cars attack the high-speed corners, it occurred to me that this might be one of the more awkward tracks to prepare a car for. Do you go for top speed over grip, or do you look to maximise performance in all the corners?
This is the kind of track that rewards good aero, so Red Bull and Mercedes should go well here. To be honest, they go well at most tracks, but their downforce package is so efficient that they could enjoy an even bigger advantage.
Hello and welcome back to my F1 2015 career mode. We are here at the Circuit of the Americas for the USA Grand Prix. Last time out in Russia. Just going to give you a couple of seconds just to pause this video and go check that one out if you haven't already seen it. Okay, so last time out in Russia, we had a fantastic race. Overtook Sebastian Vettel on the first lap, and then after that, it was plain sailing, an easy race. We managed to take the victory at our home Grand Prix. This time out in America, I think I've got a good chance to make it 2 in a row, but we're just going to have to wait and see for that. Hopefully, if we can get a good qualifying result, then we can move on and try and push for the victory in the race. So, nothing happened in practice. Let's head over to the practice results and then into the qualifying session.
It's Nico Rosberg who's been fastest today, but it's only practice. He'll be wanting to repeat that pace tomorrow when it comes to qualifying. It's just after 1 o'clock here in Austin, and the lights are about to go green to signal the start of qualifying here at the Circuit of the Americas. Austin's a relatively new circuit on the Formula One calendar, and with so few winners, no one has yet been able to stamp their authority on this track. There isn't any one driver that you can guarantee will dominate here.
This year, there are so many drivers who could get onto pole position by the end of today's qualifying session. It could be a 4- or 5-way battle. Either way, it's going to be an exciting few minutes.
Here we go then, qualifying for the American Grand Prix. And as you can see, as always, we've got into Q3 very easy. But now we've got to try and get a front row start to try and maximise our chances of getting the race win tomorrow. So let's have a look at the couple of laps that we did manage to put in this final qualifying session. Here we go then, coming around the final couple of corners, into the final corner now to set our first flying lap here in America. Getting the DRS open now and coming across the line, and it's a 1:41.6. It's only good enough to put us third with just above our teammate Daniil Ricciardo. So hopefully a better lap can try and put us above both Kimi Räikkönen and Nico Rosberg, with 7/10 of a second behind Nico Rosberg as we're coming in to the final corner for our second lap here in qualifying. And unfortunately, that lap time has been invalidated after cutting the corner ever so slightly, but it was enough for the stewards to invalidate that lap. Here we go. Third and final lap in America. Here we go. What sort of time is it going to be? Cutting that corner very nicely, taking the apex very nicely there, getting the DRS open, coming across the line, and it's a 1:41.2. We do manage to improve, but it's only good enough for second on the grid for tomorrow's race.
Fantastic qualifying result from Nico Rosberg, and a performance which should see him targeting now a race win tomorrow.
They're going to be unstoppable in the race tomorrow. That's if they can stay 1-2 by the end of the first corner, as there are some fast starters behind them.
So, Nico Rosberg takes pole position here at the Circuit of the Americas, beating us by 0.3 of a second, so we will start the race tomorrow in second place. Kimi Räikkönen is in third, and then directly behind us is Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. Our teammate Daniil Ricciardo will start the race in 5th place, with Valtteri Bottas next to him in 6th. Felipe Massa is in 7th, and Sebastian Vettel, having a surprisingly bad qualifying session, will start the race in 8th position. Nico Hülkenberg will start in 9th, and Carlos Sainz Jr. rounding out the top 10. So, without any further ado, let's head over to the race for the American Grand Prix.
Welcome! You join us here in Austin, Texas, for what is sure to be an exciting day's racing. The 2 o'clock start is drawing near, so let's head down to the grid for the US Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg will want his good fortune to continue on from yesterday's qualifying. He starts the race in P1 and has even said he's expecting to take the checkered flag first. You wouldn't want to bet against him doing just that.
There are a lot of variables that can cause a driver to be happy with the car one day to struggling with it the next. Track temperature, excessive tyre wear, or a change of fuel load can all affect the feel of a car. He'll definitely be hoping that when the race gets underway, he's got the same balance as he enjoyed in qualifying.
It's been a race against the clock for Sauber this morning after they found an issue with the car and had to strip it down through the night. But now it's fixed and both cars are good to go.
They've done their job and got the car ready to go for today's race. Now they'll be hoping that all their hard efforts will be rewarded with some points.
It's race day here for the American Grand Prix. We start the race in second place. What sort of race result can we get today as we have a look at the race strategy? It's going to be a three-stop strategy here in America of this 56-lap race, going options, 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 and then prime. So let's get this race underway. The lights coming on. Nico Rosberg starts the race in first. Can he get a race win? It's 5 lights. And away we go for the American Grand Prix, getting off to a fairly usual start with Lewis Hamilton weaving behind us. Kimi Räikkönen probably going to go for a move up the inside. There he is, Kimi Räikkönen round the outside of turn 1. And we're going to go up the inside on him and get back up into second place. Nico Rosberg getting away from us ever so slightly, but hopefully we can try and reel him back in the next couple of corners. Yellow flag behind us, so there must have been an incident going in towards turn 1. And as we look on the mini-map, there looks like there are a few cars going slowly out of turn 1. One of them especially still stuck at the exit of turn 1. But now the battle with Nico Rosberg is heating up as we are right behind him in towards the first couple of corners. Can we get a move down the long DRS straight? We're just going to have to wait and see for that as we come in towards this hairpin now. We just need to set ourselves very nicely, get behind Nico Rosberg, which we do, taking a wider line to hopefully get a good drive out of the corner, which we have done. Now following Nico Rosberg, pin it up into Rich Mix to try and get a move down this straight in the slipstream now. Have we got the straight line speed to go better than him? Yes, we are. We're catching him up. Go to the left-hand side for a move, which we do. Get the inside line for the next corner, under braking, and we are up into the lead of this American Grand Prix on the first lap. Now we need to try and defend this position and try and get another race win here in America. So coming around the next couple of corners, looks like Nico Rosberg has dropped off ever so slightly in our mirrors. He's not too close behind, but maybe for him, he might be able to catch up in the next couple of corners as we come around this very long right-hander. Very nice and tidy through there, drifting it out wide, but just enough, keeping it on the curbs and not cutting or going wide on any of those corners. Running it wide ever so slightly on the exit of that corner, now into the final corner to come across the line to end this first lap in the lead of the race so far. So far a very good first lap, setting a 1:44.5, and that's a good first lap to try and get victory here in America. Going up in towards turn 1, this very nice elevation in towards turn 1, clipping the apex ever so nicely there. Now we cut ahead to lap 11, so we've been in the lead for quite a few laps, but now Nico Rosberg, Kimi Räikkönen and Lewis Hamilton look like they're going to be closing up on us. Maybe Nico Rosberg going for a move around the outside in towards turn 1. Will he be able to make it stick now? At the start of lap 12, going up the inside in towards turn 1, and looks like we managed to get back in and we've retaken the lead. He's going side by side though with Kimi Räikkönen, which we can see in our mirrors, but now we're cutting ahead to the end of lap 12. Are we coming into the pits this lap? Yes, we are. So coming into the pits for our first pit stop, and what sort of time is it going to be from the Red Bull boys? Hopefully it's got to be better than Nico Rosberg, who is behind us in the pit lane, and Lewis Hamilton, not too sure what's happened to him. I think he came in one lap earlier. No, he hasn't. He is still out on the track as he's now taken second place in this race. Nico Rosberg, unfortunately, there jumping us in the pit lane. So, not a good stop there from the Red Bull boys. The Mercedes boys were a lot faster than us there. So now we need to try and get that move done and try and overtake him into the next couple of corners. No drivers coming out of the pit lane behind us, so we can take a wider line in towards turn 1. And looks like we've got a much better exit than Nico Rosberg. Going in towards the S's section, which replicates Maggots and Beckett's in a second. So hopefully we can try and gain on him through there, which we... doesn't look like we are. Looks like Nico Rosberg is actually quite fast through there. But coming into this right-hander, Nico Rosberg a lot slower through that one. So gaining ever so slightly through there. And then gaining even more through that one. Now into the next couple of corners, taking a wider line to try and cut back and get some good acceleration out of these corners. To try and put us right on the gearbox of Nico Rosberg. We're down in 6th place at the moment, but that is because the drivers ahead of us have not pitted yet. So under braking in towards this hairpin, looks like that's very nice and tidy there. Losing the back end ever so slightly, but managing to catch it. And now we should get DRS down this straight to try and overtake Nico Rosberg down in towards the next corner. With DRS now, are we fast enough to go for the move? Looks like we're gaining on Nico Rosberg. It's going to be tight. Looks like we should be going side by side in towards this next corner. Under braking, managed to catch up, going side by side, but seemed to push him out wide. And now we are back up into 5th place. But now we've got to see whether the undercut has worked and whether we have got out in front of both Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Räikkönen. As Valtteri Bottas, he's the driver up next, but now we're coming through the final corner to end lap 13 and start lap 14. Looks like Daniil Ricciardo and Bottas are in the pits as well. Kimi Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton are exiting the pits right now, but we are back up into the lead of this American Grand Prix. Does Nico Rosberg follow suit? Yes, he does. Nico Rosberg is up into second place. Might be going side by side with Lewis Hamilton. No, he has made the move stick. He is up into second place as well. So that is sort of good news for us. We want Nico Rosberg to beat Lewis Hamilton, but saying that, cutting ahead to lap 19, and now Lewis Hamilton has overtaken Nico Rosberg. It looks like he's going to go for a move on us down this long DRS straight. Can he make the move stick though? We're a lot better than the AI under braking, so that is probably going to be our best opportunity to get the move back. Now going up the inside on Lewis Hamilton under braking, just not close enough. Then he gives us the room, and now we can go back up into the lead of this American Grand Prix. He's going side by side with Nico Rosberg, but manages to make the move stick on Nico Rosberg and stay in second place for the time being. And now we cut ahead to the end of lap 19. Lewis Hamilton right on our tail now. Will he be able to go for a move up in towards turn 1? Doesn't look like he will. But we braked a lot later, turned in a lot wider. That's going to allow Lewis Hamilton to go up the inside. And unfortunately, he has clipped our rear wheel. Hoping to get a replay and just see what happened there to Lewis Hamilton. So here we go. We took a lot wider line. Lewis Hamilton saw the opportunity to go up the inside. Did he get enough up the inside? No, he didn't get enough up the inside. Unfortunately, clipped our rear right wheel, and that put him into a spin. Not sure that he got any damage, though, so let's have a look at it on board from Lewis Hamilton. So we run it wider. He goes for the inside, but there's just not enough there to go up the inside. So unfortunately, that was kind of Lewis Hamilton's fault, but now he will still be in 4th place. No damage to his car as well, so he shouldn't be too far behind. So we come into the pits on lap 25 for our second pit stop in this race. What sort of time is it going to be from the Red Bull boys? Looks like Lewis Hamilton is the driver behind us coming into the pits, and it looks like we've had a better pit stop than Lewis Hamilton to regain second place for the time being. I believe Nico Rosberg, he pitted one lap earlier, so he's going to be coming down the start, finish straight anytime soon. I think that's this car here. So will we come out in front of Nico Rosberg as we go in towards turn 1? Yes, we will. And we regain second place in this Grand Prix. Kimi Raikkonen is just a bit ahead of us, but he is yet to make his second pit stop, which he should be making at the end of this lap. And yes, so on the end of lap 26 now, Kimi Raikkonen is in the pits, as our engineer is just confirming that there. And we are back up into the lead of this American Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg will take second. It looks like Lewis Hamilton will take third place from Kimi Raikkonen there. So very nice race so far, taking the lead and sort of holding onto it, battling with both Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. So we've got Nico Rosberg now right behind us as we run down in towards turn 1. Yet again, Nico Rosberg setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far, but that getting taken away from him by Lewis Hamilton. So it looks like both Mercedes are flying at this stage of the Grand Prix. So Nico Rosberg going up the inside, going side by side in towards turn 1, but managing to make the move stick, getting a little tank slapper on the exit there, but still managing to regain first position as Lewis Hamilton tries to hunt both of us down. So we're coming into pits on that 38. We've gone into the wall, and unfortunately we have lost a little bit of our front wing, so that means our pit stop might be a little bit longer. Well, it should be a little bit longer unless the team decides not to fix it. As we come into the pits, so it's probably going to be about a 7-second stop. No, it's a 2.3 second stop. Not too sure what's happened there. And the damage is gone. So it looks like we've had a glitch in the game where we've managed to have a 2-second pit stop for a new front wing. So that is good news for us as we try and get this lead in this American Grand Prix. As we come out of the pits, still in first position as both Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton have pitted. And I believe Kimi Raikkonen has pitted as well. So all four of us still trying to get this lead in this American Grand Prix, but looks like we are in the best position at the time being. So on the midway stage of lap 39, looks like we've got Lewis Hamilton right on our tail yet again. He's going to get the DRS on this straight. Can he go for a move up the inside though? Looks like he is going to try up the inside in towards this corner. He's going to squeeze us on the outside, but we're going to try and move around the outside on Lewis Hamilton. He gives us the room, and we are back into first for the time being. But we've got both Mercedes absolutely flying behind us, so it's going to be a real challenge to try and defend from both of them in the last couple of laps. Looks like we've just been battling from lap 39 all the way to lap 41 now. Looks like Lewis Hamilton going to try and move in towards turn 1. Can he make the move stick though? Looks like he's gone for it. He's up into first position for the time being. We go back up the inside, around the inside in towards turn 1, and we are back up into the lead of this American Grand Prix on the start of lap 42. So coming ahead to the end of lap 43 now, we're just battling with Lewis Hamilton all the way. Looks like Nico Rosberg, he's dropped off ever so slightly, but he is there ready to pick up the pieces if there is an incident between both me and Lewis. So coming in towards this corner, looks like we've run it wide yet again. Lewis Hamilton has gone up into first place, banging wheels with Nico Rosberg as he tried to move up the inside, going side by side in towards this corner. Now coming into the corners that replicate Maggots and Beckett. So here we go. Can we get a good run through these corners to try and catch up to Lewis Hamilton? Very nice and tidy through there. Not cutting any corners, but clipping the apexes fantastically as we come through this left-hander. Cutting the corner ever so slightly there, but not enough to get given a penalty. And now we are right behind Lewis Hamilton as we come in towards the hairpin, and then it's down the DRS straight. Can we make a move down the DRS straight, or are we going to make it in towards the hairpin? Looks like under braking, we're going to try into the hairpin. Lewis Hamilton, he gives us the room, and now we are back up into the lead for the time being. But Lewis Hamilton will get the straight line speed down in towards this corner and the slipstream. We'll get DRS though, so we should be able to hold on ever so slightly. But it looks like Lewis Hamilton in that Mercedes power just a little bit faster than us, but we are managing to hold it as we go down in towards this corner, under braking round the outside. Can we make the move stick? Lewis Hamilton is still there. We have to give him the room, and now we are back up into the lead on lap 44. 12 laps left to go in this American Grand Prix. 12 laps to try and hold this first position. Can we do it? Not too sure yet as we've had both Mercedes right behind us, but now we're on lap 49. It looks like Nico Rosberg has dropped away from us ever so slightly. I believe he got the move on Lewis Hamilton in that last overtake there. But now Nico Rosberg right on our tail. Will he be able to go for a move down this DRS straight? Looks like he's got the DRS activated. He is within a second as we go in towards this corner. Nico Rosberg up the inside now. Can he make the move stick? Looks like he's got the move done before he's even got into turn one. Under braking, we just weren't fast enough there to go and get the move back on him. So we're going to have to settle for second place for the time being as we go in towards the next couple of corners. But can we make a move maybe up the inside in towards this next corner? Follow him, going for the move up the inside, going very deep into the corner. Thankfully, Nico Rosberg gives us the room, otherwise there would have been a collision between us there. But we are now back up into the lead, just sort of pushing him out of the way, and we are back up into the lead of this American Grand Prix. Only a few laps left to go in this American Grand Prix. Can we get the race victory there? Any one of us could win it. Not too sure who's going to get it so far, but now we've got Nico Rosberg right on our tail once again as we go in towards the hairpin. Taking a tight line in towards the hairpin and losing the back end there. That's allowed Nico Rosberg to get the move done before the DRS zone. Can Lewis Hamilton get the move done as well? Yes, he can on lap 53. So, battling with both Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. Looks like we are on the back end now as we go into towards the final couple of laps of this American Grand Prix. We're going to need a good run in to try and get back into first position. We are now right on the back of Lewis Hamilton as we come in towards this next section of corners. Can we make the same move that we did on Nico Rosberg a few laps ago? We're just going to have to wait and see for that as we're settling behind Lewis Hamilton for now. Going up the inside in towards this corner, putting it down in towards first gear. Maybe trying to move on Nico Rosberg. Not quite close enough to make the move on Nico Rosberg, but we did manage to get Lewis Hamilton in towards that corner. Now in towards this fast right-hander. Looks like Nico Rosberg just locked up ever so slightly. That's going to put us right behind him. In towards the penultimate corner now, then it's in towards the final corner. Can we get a move done on Nico Rosberg up the inside? Yes, we do. Up the inside of Nico Rosberg, and now we are back up into the lead of this Grand Prix. It looks like there was a collision between both Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg there, so let's have a look at a replay. On board with Nico Rosberg, he allows us through up the inside, and then Lewis Hamilton just cuts across him, hits him with his rear right wheel, and unfortunately, to the two Mercedes drivers coming together, and that's unfortunately put Nico Rosberg down in towards third place, having an outside shot, and unfortunately Lewis Hamilton just clipping his teammate and puts him down in towards third position. But now Lewis Hamilton rides on our tail as we go up in towards turn one. 2 laps left to go of this Grand Prix. Can we get the win? Not too sure. It's between me and Lewis Hamilton at the moment as we turn in for the first corner here. Lewis Hamilton on the outside, he's got pinned. We've both gone off into the grass, but looks like we're both underway. Not too sure about Lewis Hamilton though. He looks like he's stopped off the side of the track. Has he retired from this race? Let's have a look at a replay. So Lewis Hamilton going around the outside, then he drives off the circuit and then just turns into us. So unfortunately, I've got to say that is probably Lewis Hamilton's fault. He drove off the circuit. Yes, we put him out wide, but he drove off the circuit, and with that collision, that meant that it was just plain sailing all the way to the end of the Grand Prix in the last 2 laps. Daniil Kvyat, though, coming in towards the final corner. He absolutely dominated the last Grand Prix in Russia, but now he's going to make it back-to-back wins here in the USA.
That's a race win and your second race win in a row. Fantastic job.
Today's Grand Prix winner is Daniil Kvyat. What an exceptional drive from this young Russian.
It was a fantastic performance and one that they should be very proud of. Every part of the team pulled together to achieve today's result.
It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.
So there we go, back-to-back wins here in the United States after a fantastic battle with both Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. Nico Rosberg, he finishes in second, 1.5 seconds behind us, with Lewis Hamilton finishing in third after that unfortunate collision on lap 55. Kimi Räikkönen finishes in fourth, with our teammate Daniel Ricciardo finishing in fifth. Sebastian Vettel managed to finish sixth after starting 8th on the grid, with Valtteri Bottas finishing 7th and Felipe Massa in 8th. Sergio Perez in 9th, and Max Verstappen will get the final World Championship points at this race. Let's have a look at how this affects us in the drivers' standings. In the drivers' standings, we are now only 14 points away from Lewis Hamilton. So that means in the next 2 races, if we win both of them and Lewis Hamilton comes second, that means we will be on the exact same amount of points as we go into the final race. But Nico Rosberg, he's in third. He is only 17 points behind Lewis Hamilton, which means he's only 3 points behind us. Looks like the championship battle is very much hotting up as we go in towards the final 3 races. Let's look at the Constructors' Championship now. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes have won the Constructors' World Championship. It is now no longer mathematically possible for us to catch them up, but that was obvious anyway. They were obviously going to win the World Championship with both their drivers getting a lot of 1-2s. We're still in second place, but with a poor performance from Ferrari, we have now got a 44-point gap to them as we go into the final 3 races. They could still catch it up. It is still possible for them to catch it up, but it's going to be very difficult for them. So it looks like we should have second place in the bag as we go into towards the final couple of races. Thank you very much for joining me for this American Grand Prix. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to smash that like button. Also subscribe to my channel for more F1 content in the future. I hope to see you next time when we are at the Mexican Grand Prix. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again very soon. Goodbye.